If you're looking for a cinematic masterpiece that deconstructs the gangster mythos, reinvents the genre with a somber cautionary tale, and features a career-best performance by Robert De Niro, watch The Irishman. You won't find that with the Alto Knights. The Alto Knights is essentially Scorsese lite. It has all the stylistic trademarks of a Scorsese movie, it tells its true mafia story the way Scorsese would tell it, but it doesn't have any of the depth or innovation or brutal honesty that Scorsese brings to his gangster films. Scorsese's gangster characters are all morally grey, but the Alto Knights is a bit too black and white in its portrayal of Frank Costello as the benevolent mob boss and Vito Genovese as the evil mob boss. Having said all that, I did really enjoy the Alto Knights. De Niro is great in dual roles, it's shot and edited really well, and it's based on a fascinating true story that had massive ramifications on America's criminal underworld. I'll probably forget about it in a few days, but I wasn't bored for a second while I was watching it. If you like gangster movies, this is definitely worth your time.
Ooh, Lord, ain't my trouble so hard.
The Alto Knights feels like it should have been made in the 80s, not in De Niro's 80s. The actor's age limited how much of the story they could tell. Most of the movie focuses on what should have been the third act. The story is basically a gangster version of Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. It's about childhood friends who became grown-up enemies. Frank Costello and Vito Genovese grew up together, got mixed up in the mafia, and became gangland rivals, to the point that Vito tried to have Frank killed. To really tell that story effectively, you'd have to follow them from their adolescence through to early adulthood, and show the rift slowly forming between them. But since this is a starring vehicle for 81-year-old Robert De Niro, that stuff is only explored at surface level. Frank and Vito's childhood is distilled into a couple of old photographs, and their early days in organized crime are summarized in a few lines of voiceover.
Who's playing this lead boy?
That's gonna be Mac.
What?
Oh yeah! Lead, of course.
Who's playing the day man?
Well, the lead boy becomes the day man when he defeats the night man, so it's also Mac. It's one
Two
guy.
parts?
It's one part.
Regardless of his age, it was an odd choice to have De Niro play both parts. There's no real reason to have him play both of them. It's a good marketing gimmick, but it would have been a great opportunity to reunite him with Al Pacino or Christopher Walken, or even Joe Pesci if they could coax him out of retirement. But having said that, De Niro is great in these dual roles. He played them both as distinctive characters. Frank is the fair, respectable leader, while Vito is the curmudgeonly hothead. His performances in both roles are terrific, and he pulls off his scenes opposite himself spectacularly, sharing surprisingly strong chemistry with his other self. But Vito is by far the more memorable character and performance. Frank is more or less a typical De Niro role, he doesn't strain any muscles there, but De Niro plays Vito as a cross between Tommy DeVito and Junior Soprano, and it's hilarious.
I don't want to make a lot of noise.
Noise, it's a fucking gun.
With De Niro in the lead role and Goodfellas and Casino's Nicholas Pileggi writing the script, The Alto Knights has all the hallmarks of a Scorsese crime film. It has all the stylistic markers of Scorsese's take on the genre. Freeze frames, cutaways, voiceover narration, frenzied camera movements, all over the place non-linear storytelling. The soundtrack plays like an algorithmically cultivated Spotify playlist inspired by Scorsese's song choices. It even copies The Irishman's montage of mobsters taking the fifth, and The Irishman did it a lot better.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer that question on the grounds that it might tend to incriminate me.
Okay, let me ask you this. What color's my pen?
It has all the recognizable traits of a Scorsese movie, but it doesn't have Scorsese's rawness, or his fearlessness, or his moral complexity. It's the Diet Coke of Scorsese movies. Just 1 calorie, not Scorsese enough. But as far as Scorsese imitators go, it's pretty damn good. Barry Levinson is much closer to Scorsese's skill level than Todd Phillips. Douglas Kreitz's nonlinear editing is seamless. The movie's sprawling narrative is stitched together beautifully. And cinematographer Dante Spinotti brings plenty of interesting shots to the table, like a mob hit silhouetted against a bedsheet hanging on a washing line. All in all, The Alto Knights isn't a new classic on par with Goodfellas or The Irishman. It plays with very familiar tropes, themes, story beats, and stock characters. But it's a very solidly made gangster movie that ought to keep fans of the genre satisfied.
That's what she said. Michael.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked the video. Remember to like and subscribe and click on the little bell. And also seize the day and call your mom and be kind to yourself.